Welcome to The Good Ride. Today I'm talking about the LibTech DPR, a board that I've had a really good time on. Love this price point, love this durability, and other than the base that runs a little dry, isn't super fast. This has incredible grip, a fun turn, a forgiving but stable hybrid camber profile that grips really well and has a wonderful balance between pop and dampness. And this is going to be a very recommendable ride moving forward because it comes in a wide variety of sizes and it feels like it's a more stable, friendly offering of the terrain wrecker at a much more affordable price point. So I think a lot of people will like this, especially if you see a decent amount of hard snow, but you want to be able to set it back and get easier directional float in powder. So I rode this with Union Force primarily and my Nitro Team BOA boots. I got this in a wide variety of conditions, everything from some pretty hard snow that had lots of hard uneven places on up to a little bit of powder and some really good groomers. And I compared it against a wide variety of boards, and you can see those comparisons on Patreon for paid members. I also rode this in a 156 and a 158. And this is an honest, objective review for you, the consumer. I can do that thanks to this community support, and especially thanks to our sponsor, Blower Board Shop, who's been selling to snowboarders longer than most resorts have been allowing snowboarders on the hill. They have a local and online presence, excellent shipping, great customer service. So if you want to support honest, objective content and a shop that's helped snowboarders forever, click through our links to Blower Board Shop and buy something. It would be greatly appreciated. When it comes to sizing, this 56 that you see here fit me really well. It felt a little quick, and I was surprised at what a difference 2 centimeters is in terms of feel. The 58 felt more stable, more comfortable, better at speed. It had a better carve to it, yet it still didn't feel too taxing on me at the end of the day. I'm torn between the two sizes. I think I'd go 58 as a one board quiver for sure. I think this would be the choice if I was focusing more on park with a mountain freestyle emphasis. This would be the call. But they have a wide variety of sizing for most boot sizes in the normal range, which is most important when it comes to turning a board, but they also can handle a wide variety of weights and heights too, which is important as well. All three are really important when sizing a board, along with your personal preference. So there should be a size for just about anybody out there. Now, when it comes to durability, this is incredibly durable. I love Mervin's construction. LibTech and GNU boards are just incredibly durable. They even get rid of the rail around the tip and tail and put in a much more impact resistant polyurethane kind of protection that does an amazing job at reducing impact. It's still not perfect and some people have complaints about it, but overall I like it better than having a full edge wrap in the nose and tail. The top sheet, you can see, almost has no scarring after multiple setups, and I'm pretty impressed with it. It's not fancy, but I like the all black. I like this really tough material. Sidewalls are great. Overall, you're getting a board that's gonna last a long time. Now, when it comes to shape, you could call this a directional twin, but it feels kind of like on that directional to twinish side. It feels very centered, and there is a little setback on board, but one of my complaints about the DPR is from the 56 on up to the bigger sizes. It's the same stance range. I would have hoped this 56 would have had a narrower stance range than the 58, but they're the same, and it runs on the wider side. So that can be problematic for those who love to use the whole stance range, set it back on powder days, ride it center on groomer. I didn't have a lot of setback options with this. When it comes to camber profile, I love what they're doing with the DPR. It has a healthy bit of camber between the feet, going well past the inserts. It has a little passive bend in the middle that's very mellow, but then you have early rise before the nose and tail, so it makes this stable. It doesn't feel loose and auto-spinny like their C2. It doesn't feel locked in and technical like their C3, so it's forgiving yet stable. A committed beginner on up to an expert can have a time with this and it won't be bad for anybody. And I think a lot of people will really appreciate that stability while still being able to skid a turn when they have those oh shit off their game moments. So when it comes to edge hold, you have a mellower magna traction. It's what they used to call 0.5 MTX, I believe. There's some good disruption, especially between the feet, but it really mellows out in the tip and tail. So it doesn't grab very much at all in soft snow, but is very competent in hard snow. And it borders on being like a icy snow specialist. There are better boards like the GNU Anti-Gravity, which has a much more aggressive disruption in the side cut, but it has full camber from tip to tail, so it's much more unforgiving. This might be a better option for you if you're looking for hard snow performance, but still a board that is forgiving. Let's talk DPR flex here. I thought it would be a lot softer than it is. You've got a somewhat medium bordering on medium stiff flex in the tail. It goes to medium right here. And with that rocker point, it allows you to leverage into a butter really easy. Then in the nose, it's longer and maybe a touch softer just because of that length. But then again, with the early rise, it's very easy to butter there too. Between the feet feels medium stiff. And overall, there's a lot of pop. Mervin just always has great pop and easy ollie power, and this is no exception. And I'm glad this flex is more middle ground medium, bordering on medium stiff. And this is a very competent all mountain flex. And this does really well in hard, uneven snow. It's not the best in same day tests against some other boards like the Upgrade and other a little higher end Mervin boards handled hard, uneven snow a little better. But this was no slouch and it wasn't anything that really bothered me. And then when you get it in soft, uneven snow in both sizes, the 56 and 58, it handles that wet, thick, uneven snow. This will just never buck you and bounce you around as much as a lot of other boards out there. So very poised, competent, uneven snow performance. This rides switch very well. It's just a little behind a true twin. And this can just lap the kicker line in the park. Not that I'm going there, but it's gonna be great. And if you size this down just a touch like I did with the 156 versus the 58, this is gonna be an exceptional pipe board. You're gonna really like it there. It has enough grip, enough drive, and a side cut that likes to go up and down those walls. It's gonna be easy for making quick micro adjustments if you're like me and you're sometimes off your game in the pipe, but you love doing it anyways, so you want a forgiving board for it, this is the one. You can even jib with this if you want. I'm not gonna be there, but if you wanna be there, you can. And when it comes to turning, this initiated a turn really quickly in a 56. The 58 was a little slower, but still really comfortable and really good for turning all day. When I got it on edge and committed to a harder turn, I could front foot, center weight, or back foot weight my turns and really carve well for a board this forgiving. It's definitely a step above almost every C2 board I've tried. And while it's not as good as some of the full Camber C3s that are camber from the tip to tail, this did incredibly well for having a little bit of early rise. And I think a lot of people will be really happy with this carving ability for a board at this price point. And it can make any kind of radius turn you want. It sits a little bit more on the turny side for Mervin's line. It's a little below their standard side cut radius at about the low 8s. This can across the groomer carve, circle carve very well, make quick turns. If you want to open it up a little bit and start making more narrower, faster S turns, this entry point in the nose doesn't hook you up and fight you. This can straight line pretty well for a board like this, especially in the 58. That felt great for me. And when it comes to base glide, it doesn't have those low lows that the knife cut centered base can have if you don't wax it. It doesn't have those high highs either, but really that's Mervin, which is LibTech and GNU. That's one of their Achilles heels. They just don't make bases on the level that many of their competitors do. But at this price point, I'm not gonna fault them, and it's mostly black, so it's gonna be pretty easy to repair. And wax retention's okay, but not great. Better than the knife cut centered base for sure. And when it comes to powder, this longer nose than the tail, this little bit of early rise, and the ability to set it back a little bit. I can't set it back much with a 21 to 21.5 inch stance width because of this wide stance range, but it still floats very well for what it is. It's a great one board quiver, especially for those who see more firm snow, but wanna have better directional float than a twin with a centered stance. This is a huge step up from there, and I think a lot of people will have easy directional float in it. Wasn't the best season to get powder days on this. I tried. We've just had a terrible season. And almost every time when we thought it was going to be 10 inches, it ended up being 3. And that's all I got to test it in, but it felt competent enough. And you can see some comparisons on Patreon. And overall, other than the rather wide stance width options in the 56 and 58, I really wish they would have been narrower, and the not so great but decent enough base for this price point. There's very little to complain about with the LibTech DPR. It's a board I'm gonna recommend the hell out of, and I think it's very special. It's got that amazing balance of stability and forgiveness, good grip, decent float, just fun doing a little bit of everything. If you don't know what you want, or if you love everything like a lot of people like me do, this is going to be an excellent choice.